Drew. And yeah, thank you very much, audience. So the previous panel was devoted to the embedded lending for consumers. Now, during our panel, we will talk about the embedded finance for businesses, so for B2B, for SMEs. And I'm very happy to have in this panel Istvan from CIB Bank, Cosmin, representing FinTech, Lendox, and Ionuț and Michal from payments organizations. So, embedded SME finance, I think, is the most important topic right now, because now this is not about creating next digital offer on the next platform which SMEs should remember and Google and apply and search for application when they need some finance, but it is very convenient to be in the businesses ecosystems. Either this is ERP, or this is e-commerce, or this is shops, or this is maybe POS terminals if the transaction is done via the POS. So it's important to be where the customers are, be in the very moments where SMEs might need this finance, so be in the very context of the business. If we talk about embedded SME lending right now in the CE region, we have several players on the market which offer this. None of the banks, none of the big banks offer embedded SME lending now. I hope this will change in the nearest years. But I can recall the following fintechs providing embedded SME lending and invoice finance, which are PragmaGo in Poland, we have PastPay in Hungary, we have Lemonero operating in Czechia and Slovakia, and from now on we have Lendox launching their products here in Romania. And Cosmin, I'm passing this microphone first to you. Please tell us what your new product is about. And yeah, we are
Thank you, Elena. I need to apologize on my voice. I lost it last night, so, and I was not singing. There was somebody else on the stage. Look, Lendox evolved from iFactor. From some of you, maybe iFactor was already a recognizable brand. We have been, and we are a peer-to-peer lending platform for SMEs. SMEs were applying for loans, or they were selling their invoices, and we were performing the KYC, underwriting. High net worth individuals and banks could bid for this application. So it's nothing new for us. In 2023, we pivoted, and this is why we rebranded to Lendox as lending in a box. Maybe it makes sense. And we had started a SaaS product where banks like Raiffeisen and some others are using our technology in order to assess the risk, the credit risk for their SME and corporate customers. What we do different is that we were able to build an alternative data-based credit intelligence. What does it mean is that we are able to capture data from different sources like social media, we augment data from open banking, from internet in general, and then we make abstract the financial information. This is where the banks are, of course, performing very well with the regression models. And we are able to capture, by capturing this data, we are able to understand and learn about the capability of reimbursement of the SMEs. By doing so and having the traditional marketplace where transactions were made, and with the great help now of Visa and global payments, we are able now to deploy on the market a totally new product. It was never previously done. It's an independent embedded lending product. We do, if you want, a reverse factoring for SMEs placed on a card, on a business card. So that would be in a nutshell, but probably we can
Yes. So
detail.
maybe I will ask Michal and then Ionuț how global payments and Visa complements to this product and helps to implement this product, and then let's discuss the details. Yeah.
Global payments is traditionally very strong player in everything around card and payments. You probably know us from the acquiring, but we have also very strong proposition for the issuing, and our traditional clients are big banks. So we are helping the big banks to issue the card, if it is consumer debit, credit, what else. And a few years ago, we find out that there is a very interesting segment, fintechs, non-banking institution, which can very benefit from the same service as the big banks, but maybe for them to set up everything about payments and cards is, let's say, too costly, too expensive, and maybe out of the focus of their core business. So therefore, we decided to create a platform which is issuing as a service, which in fact provides in the box everything what the company needs to issue the card. And our focus and our target group was exactly fintechs which are focused on the lending, buy now, pay later, prepaid card, whatever it is. And they will see the benefit of, let's say, connecting their financial products with the card to enable their client to easily spend the money in the shops, in the retail. And therefore, we are a kind of enabler which, based on technology, which is on the same level as we provide to the banks, based on our licenses with Visa, with the, let's say, local regulator. So we provide all of it using the products from Visa. So we are somehow encapsulated that, and the result is the product which is easy to integrate and which enable the companies like Lendox to easily offer their client the payment method which is based on card. So this is what we do together, and we are quite happy that Cosmin and Lendox is one of our first customers which is using such a service.
Congratulations. Cosmin, just maybe to understand a little bit more, please tell us, how does the product work? What's the flow?
Well, there are two different channels. I will resume on the first one. Basically, if you are looking to very large enterprises that are distributing and they're selling products or services to small and medium enterprises, especially for those that have difficult collection with cash collection with very high cost, then basically we embed our risk assessment tool as a know your partner product into the ERP. They scan the portfolio of customers. We talk here about companies that have more than 10,000 customers. We basically, after scanning that, we score those customers. We identify those that the enterprise would like to have funded and taken out of their balance sheet risk. And then with the help of Visa and Global Payments, we basically issue also, based on this product of risk assessment, we issue a card and an account for the SMEs. And alternative lenders from the previous model that we had in Marketplace are coming, and basically they give loans to these customers. We are talking about a securitization type of product. We have now prepared already from high net worth individuals to non-banking financial institution funds, and even very large banks from the Wall Street, for example, that can do SPVs and come and securitize for this kind of lending. It's something very powerful because these small and medium enterprises, they are non-bankable in any case. Banks would never touch them. It's very difficult to assess the risk, credit risk, reimbursement capabilities. So because we are very good in that space, and because we create this ecosystem, we lock the expenditure of the card, the expenditure of the loan on the card, and then throughout all this innovative model, and then with the AI and all the buzzwords that you already heard on the stage, then we basically enable this and facilitate this invisible, fast, seamless experience for getting a loan.
Does this card issuance is instant, or you need some time to proceed and make a decision?
Well, it is prone to regulation. So there is I think that the biggest burden is the far distance authentication for the customer after he was onboarded already by the enterprise. So basically, we perform first KYB, know your business process, And then when the CRM selects specific customers, then they have to perform in the app of global payments, they will need to perform the know your customer identification, and then the account is open. After that, everything is seamless and it's instant. Of course, card issuing, the virtual one will, now it's regular stuff, it's classic, it will be immediately issued, then plastic will follow.
Leonard, please tell us more about how does Visa contribute to that process?
Thank you very much, Olena, for the question. First of all, I would like to say that we are proud to be here on the stage with successful businesses, with Istvan from CIB, with Cosmin, and with Michal. Super proud to be here with you. We're super committed to outstanding customer experience, and this is why our role here was to practically partner fintech proposition with a financial institution that is providing the payment instruments, so that's we have the best solution for customer experience. Customers going to a shop or entering into a business, they practically find the lending and the payment instrument within the same customer journey. And this is very, very important. And by doing this, connecting the dots, we are practically exposing Lendox and Global Payments and CIB to the entire ecosystem of Visa rails, so not only card payments, but also Visa direct payments. Practically, by having this entire ecosystem at their disposal, they are prepared to scale their business as much as possible.
I want to complement this. I apologize, Istvan. Basically, it's very important for fintech to have the trust of the market. So besides all the rails and all the infrastructure that these powerful companies offer us, of course, it's the partnership itself. It's extremely important, and I have to thank everyone from Visa, Branio, Catalin, Ionuț, everyone that were very big supporters of what we pitched to them. I want to thank also Global Payments, Tibor, Michal, and the rest of the team also for their support. It was really, I mean, they made a lot of efforts in order to this to be happening. What I want to mention is that it's very difficult for such large companies to start working with companies like us, which is early stage. Anyone can identify good innovation, but large companies have difficulties to embed it in their processes, and due to their efforts, actually, this it will be happening.
What are the nearest plans with the product? For Romania, any other countries in your targets?
Yes, I mean, we are a startup, we are a fintech. We never looked to one market, we never did. So you remember that we talked even about iFacts and we've been to Warsaw to your conference. And for us, Eastern Europe now, but we are now focusing Romania, Czech Republic, and Greece. We extend, our intention is to extend to Poland and then DACH region. We do have some connections with the DACH region through Austria, with the banks that use our technology already. So more or less, this is the space that we tackle as low-hanging fruits.
We're looking forward, yeah. Istvan, what is the perspective of the CIB bank, but also maybe your feedback from the Hungarian market on the embedded SME finance?
So thank you very much, Olena. Thank you very much for the kind invitation. We had the chance to publish some articles in the magazine, so that's a great magazine as well. And also thank you very much for Visa. We have already sold more than 70,000 cards in the small business segment, and we're more than happy to sell further. We have just recently introduced the Platinum card for retail clients, and we are looking forward to introducing it for the corporates as well. A lot of great solutions, a lot of cooperations. So just coming back to the question, whether there are similar type of products or not, and if not, then why. So in Hungary, what we can see is that there's quite a high interest rate. So the prime interest rate is around 7%. So on market based, it would be pretty hard for the companies to actually get credit. So what the government does is that there are a lot of state subsidized products, and practically almost all the companies are looking forward to having these state subsidized loan. This is the main reason why there's almost no room for other type of products, but that's also true for the individuals. So they are also having a lot of state subsidized products. But this is only the matter of today, and of course it's going to be solved. As you mentioned, there are some fintechs having similar type of services like buy now, pay later, not only for consumers, but also for companies. So for example, one opportunity for the banks, not only in Hungary, but generally, is to come up with fintech hubs or to come up with special institutions that actually help these fintechs. And then they either have ownership or buy ownership, and then they can sell the services and products of these fintech companies to their own companies. So there are some Hungarian players which actually do this. So this is one great opportunity. And the second one is that, as you mentioned earlier also, that there's the POS or point of sale installment loan. So that's another opportunity together with Visa that we can also provide, or some players on some markets may provide, depending on whether the companies need these type of revolving credit facility for the short run. As mentioned earlier, in Hungary, most of them are looking for these foreign denominated, fixed, very cheap loans, because they are the ones that are subsidized. But again, in the future, and also in the present in some destinations, this is definitely what the clients are looking for. So an end-to-end digital journey, a one-stop shopping. They have a dream. They want to buy something. They don't want to go separately to a bank. They want to buy on the spot. They need the embedded financing. They don't care what type of financing. They sometimes don't even know it. Sometimes it's white label. Sometimes they don't know whether that company only provides the engine behind it, the model, or whether there's a bank behind it. And maybe there are not going to be banks. We will see. Maybe there are going to be blockchain-based crypto companies. Maybe there are going to be fintechs. As we all know, banking is required, but banks are not really. So let's see.
Thank you, Istvan. I would like to ask Ionut first and then Michal, because Istvan actually touched the question of the POS lending, and this is another embedded or possible embedded offer for the merchants. How do you see the development of the POS lending in the nearest years and your contribution to that? Maybe Ionut, you first, and then Michal.
So the buying experience needs to be seamless. The customers are trying to solve a need of theirs. So the lending and also the payment needs to be embedded within the experience in a seamless way, so that the customer obtains the products and services while trying to solve the need. This is of utmost importance from this point of view. And this is why we are partnering fintechs that provide lending and financial institutions in this regard.
How to make more offers be available on the market on the POS lending? Because now, from what we have now, I can recall ČSOB Bank offer for the merchant lending in Czechia. We have Pragma Go in Poland offering that. I don't recall the merchant lending here in Romania. What should be done, maybe from all the players on the market, to make this offer more popular, maybe, or more available for the merchants?
Practically, even now, we are discussing with retailers, with all kinds of companies, and trying to partner them with companies like Lendox, so that they have the capability to, and also the full offer from Global Payments, to have the capability to provide the lending and payment instruments within their processes. So even these days, we had very productive discussions in this area. and we are continuously discussing with companies that practically want to sell more.
That's good. Michal, what about it?
Yeah. It probably will have like two major dimensions. One is the first, there must be the product for the lending, so there must be somebody who lend the money, and there must be some interest from the merchant and from the client to use it. So this is mostly on the side of Cosmin and similar companies. The second is the enabling, the technology. So how to make sure that the lending will be available on as much point of sales as possible in different channels and so on. And this is where we can act together with Visa, either by, let's say, implementing some new advanced technology which enable the better communication between merchant, the cardholder, and the lender. Today I see, which is much more better, is the using of the mobile wallets and so on. So not everything has to be integrated into each POS device, but it's more in the mobile application or in the backend. So the POS financing can be prepared in advance. So it seems that it's going to the right direction. So both the technology and let's say a lot of players which can provide the loans. I think really what Cosmin is doing is very innovative. However, we see, for example, and this is why we see also that this is coming to be quite popular, that even people are using this financing for very short purchases like food for 1 week or something like that. So we see that there is a really demand. So our role is mostly to really support it on our rails, on our backends, that such loans and financing can be available, either pre or post or whatever. Yeah.
I want to add something. So imagine that we are doing this model and we are implementing this model to distributors that they are not necessarily retailers, but on retailers, then you can do exactly the same model at the point of sale. So it's something that we are taking into consideration. The only issue is always how can you do it as invisible as possible, because this is the new way of adoption from the customer part. As soon as you add processes and regulations come into unfold into bad experience, then of course customers are running away. Everybody has now a wallet full of plastics and loyalties and everything, and customers are not really looking for that. So we need to identify the right options, and we are on the right track to that.
You would like to?
So talking about the easiness of doing business, of purchasing, you probably saw recently that Visa launched Visa Intelligent Commerce. So using the abilities of virtual assistants, AI, in order to help consumer and businesses to do the best choices and actually helping them in completing the purchasing process.
All right, so we have discussed the embedded finance into the e-commerce a little bit, physical shops, POS lending. Now another level where finance can be embedded is the e-invoicing tools, or online invoicing tools and ERP systems of the customers. This is also your product as Lendox use that, but as probably you know that now the mandatory e-invoicing regulation is coming into force in the European Union, and up to 2030 all the countries should implement this. Romania has implemented it last year, but from what I know at the moment tax authority does not provide, so did not open still APIs to retrieve the electronic invoice data, but it will come. In Hungary, it works for 10 years, and now banks and fintechs can, with the consent of the customer, of course, can retrieve the electronic invoice data from the tax authority portal or website. It's coming to Poland next year, so anyway, our CE region will be in the nearest several years, so we'll receive the access to the electronic invoice data. How all of you, how have you thought about a new process, a new maybe simplified process for the embedded finance, but also embedded payments? Because when you receive, for example, the invoice from counterparty or you retrieve this data, this is a very good source to embed the payment with one click, right? And if, for example, I'm being an SME issue my invoice, I retrieve this data from the tax authority, then it could be a way or a moment to finance this invoice because I don't want to wait, for example, for my counterparties to pay me in 2 weeks. I want to receive the money right now.
Just a very short comment before. This is the beauty of our job. So as the complexity increases in this case, practically connecting lender, financial institution within the ecosystem of an invoicing software like an ERP.
That's what I also wanted to add, actually, because we kind of like when authorities fail to do stuff like APIs, because you can always find a challenge and an opportunity in that. In all honesty, this can be done also with an open finance option. You can take the example of open banking. We already do these connections with SPVs with the consent of the customer so that we can have access to those infrastructures. But at the end, this is more like a user experience part.
Yes.
Now, the biggest problem in lending is the risk that lies behind the capabilities of that customers to reimburse the loan. So at the end of the day, sometimes these maybe infrastructures of technologies are not necessarily done not only by authorities but also from large banks. They do not look into these directions because it's very difficult to tackle some customer segments. And then if they cannot find a business case there, then it's very difficult. Nowadays, you have two options. Either you have one fit for all products in lending, either you have very high-priced products that cover part of the risk for those which are unbankable and they cannot afford it. And in the middle is nothing. This is where we are coming into play. This is where we are trying to service these customers. And I think by doing so, actually, economies will be stronger. It's not only the purpose of material purpose immediately, but we have also a social impact and economical impact in any geography that we could do that.
So this is the question whether the more accessible data makes banks have more risk appetite for SMEs, right?
Yeah, so actually factoring is a very traditional way of financing that we also do as Intesa Sanpaolo Group. And here in Hungary, we actually have the hub of international factoring, meaning that there are 12 countries, 11 subsidiaries, and when there's either the seller or the buyer is Hungarian, practically there are some cases where it's not mandatory even to be one part Hungarian, then the Hungarian hub can contribute. Some part of it is digitalized. It can be more digitalized. Fintechs can also be involved. Factoring is obviously very good because it's not a classic balance sheet type of financing. We can also include certain insurance companies, mainly Hermes, Coface, Atradius or others. It's actually also cheaper for the client because generally when they take out the insurance policy, they would pay more. We can also use some of the reporting actually. So instead of the client, we can have the track of their buyer and seller part. And also when something goes wrong, we can actively contribute in the workout process. So it's like an activity of 4 different pillars. And just briefly commenting or coming back to the previous ideas, that definitely so fintechs can really open up the landscape of financial, including the clients, and also very much in line with ESG. A lot of clients internationally were debanked, and with providing decentralized financing, it was an opportunity for them. And also fintechs can provide opportunity for those clients that, as mentioned earlier, may not be financed directly by banks or may not be that much attractive. This is why also Intesa Sanpaolo, the group, has already founded its own big fintech company with several million clients already in Italy, and this is why it's going to spread this. So it's very much in line with the strategy that even a classic bank has to renew itself and keeping the classic line, but also getting into the new fintech area, partly by establishing a completely new fintech, but also by getting a serious partnership with others. Also, there's a great innovation hub with several hundreds of IT developers doing AI activities, and not only directly finance-related activities, but also the quickness of the future. So most probably it will happen one day, but not within 5 years.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you to my panel, Istvan, Cosmin, Ianat, and Michal. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If you could just stay for the picture, please. Oh, our colleague is here already. Okay, everybody, we have one last panel, but we have excellent speakers. Okay, so we have Gerd with his exceptional